Hey there! This tutorial deals with warm and cool color in painting. Cool colors are associated with water and ice, warm colors with fire and the sun. Even within the same color family, there are warm and cool colors. Cadmium red light is closest to orange and warmest. Cadmium red deep is a little cooler. Carmine and alizarin crimson are cooler still, while quinacridone magenta is the coolest red. Here we have two greens. Can you decide which is cooler and which is warmer? Terra Verde is a little cooler since it's closer to blue, and sap green is warmer. The coolest yellow we have here is lemon yellow. Cadmium yellow is a little warmer, followed by yellow ochre and raw umber. Now that you can identify warm and cool colors, let's look at how they're used in painting. Warmer colors create the illusion that objects are closer to the viewer, while cooler colors cause objects to recede into the background. Here's a still life example. I've put together several objects with warm and cool neutral colors, and we'll go through the exercise of mixing the color for each. For this exercise, we'll mix the colors with red, yellow, blue, and white. Each time we'll start with roughly equal parts red, yellow, and blue. Now the color I have is a little too green, so I'm adding the opposite color on the color wheel, which is red. Now to match the color of the cork, I've added yellow. Adding white often reveals more about a color. I move a little closer to the color each time I make an adjustment. Raw umber is the darkest color in the yellow family. And now I think I have it. Let's move on to this acorn top. Again, we'll start with roughly equal parts, red, yellow, and blue. I'm close, but the color I've mixed is a little too purple, so I go to the opposite on the color wheel, which is yellow. I'm a little too orange, so I'm adding some blue. Now I think I'm ready to try. And that's a close match. Now I have a dark colored stone that's a cool neutral. Since this is a dark color, I'm using my darkest red, yellow, and blue. The color I have here is a little too purple, so I'll add yellow, opposite on the color wheel. And that one was easy enough. Let's move on to a different colored stone. This stone has a reddish cast. I'm starting with red, yellow, and blue. That color's too blue, so I'll add red and yellow, which together make orange. It's still a little too blue, so more red and more yellow. Go through that process again. And I'll add a little white so I can learn more about the color. That told me I needed to add some red. Now I'm getting very close. Here's a little stone with a green cast. Again, I'm starting with my red, yellow, blue combination. It's a little too purple, so I add the opposite, which is yellow. Now it's a little orange, so I'm going to add some blue. It's a little green, so I'll add red. This lichen is my favorite. It's a little purple, so I'll add yellow. It was a little orange, so I added blue. Now it's a little green, so I'm adding red. Too purple, I'll add yellow. Now we'll match the metal of these pliers. The red, yellow, and blue combination is too green, so I'm adding red. Now it looks too purple, so I'll add more yellow. The white reveals that it's a little too blue, so it needs red and yellow, which make orange. Now the final demonstration will be mixing the color of the palette paper. I use a gray palette paper when I paint because mixing colors on a neutral surface makes it easier to mix true colors. I started with red, yellow, and blue. Adding white reveals that my color is a little too green. So I'll add the opposite of green, which is red. a little purple, so I added yellow. Now I'm getting closer. It's a little orange, so I'll add some blue. That was too much blue. Now I'll have to balance it out with red and maybe some yellow. I can see my value's too dark, so I'll lighten it with some white. Now we're getting really close. You may want to gather some objects with neutral colors and try matching their colors with your paint. Another good exercise to practice what you've learned is to paint a red apple. You can use a real apple or a picture as a reference, and use the cooler reds in the shadows and warmer reds in the highlights. Don't forget to share a picture when you finish. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial and picked up some tips you can use in your own work. Don't forget to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't to this YouTube channel. Happy painting!